There is a growing number of podcasters and authors in the state, and we like to get in on the conversation. In today's Let's Talk, brought to you by CC's Physical Therapy, we talk with Gabriella Lilley, author of Eleanor, the Eagle's Brave Journey. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Gabriella.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So I love the title of this book. It's absolutely adorable. What inspired it in the first place?
So the main thing that inspired me was my lived experiences growing up. I kind of grew up back and forth between communities as a young girl, and I never really quite felt like I fit into either, and I really struggled to embrace my identity. But as I got older, I learned that those are things that I should embrace, and that really inspired my children's book so I could share that message with young children.
I love that. And what has that experience been like, sharing that with children and kind of seeing that spark in their eye?
Mhm. I think it just makes them feel like they're not alone because that's how I felt when I was younger. I just felt so excluded and like I was different. And I think through this children's book, I'm able to share with them that it's common and that they're not alone.
Absolutely. And so you do that by, sharing a message in your story. What is the story about?
It follows Eleanor's journey to learning to embrace her unique strengths. She started off on the book talking about how she feels different and she's different from the other birds, but throughout the story, she learns that though she doesn't look like the other birds, she also has her own unique strengths. And by the end of the book, she's helping all of her friends realize their unique strengths as well.
So did you write it and illustrate it?
I wrote it, and my illustrator is B Chan.
Oh, fun. And what's the relationship there?
I just found her through a freelance illustrator website.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Because I will say the illustrations on this are absolutely adorable and I love them.
She did
So
such a good job.
you did a great job picking that out. You also hold the title Miss Mikinock 2025. What has that, been like?
So it'll be my fourth year competing for the title of Miss North Dakota, and it has truly been an amazing opportunity to compete in this organization. It has done so much for me. I've earned over $7,000 in scholarships for school, and if I were to win, I would become the first Native American woman to hold the title, which would also be such an honor as well.
So that's happening. You're competing for Miss North Dakota June of this year. You're preparing for that now. What has that preparation been like?
Yeah, so I got my local title in October, and since then it includes mock interviews, making sure that I'm staying healthy and fit, and just going to the studio once a week, practicing my talent and all of those fun things.
What are some of the goals that you have put for yourself this year?
I really just want to show up this year as the best authentic version of myself. It's so subjective and we can't really control the outcome of these things, but I can control how I show up and how I put my best foot forward.
So you have a service initiative every year. Talk to us about the one that you're doing this year.
Mhm. So my community service initiative is Unity, Embracing Diversity, and it also really ties into my lived experiences. And I really encourage people to embrace the things that make them unique because I believe when we are able to accept those things that are different about ourselves, then we become more outwardly accepting of the diversities that exist around us.
So speaking about that diversity, you had mentioned that if you were to win, you would be the first Native American Miss North Dakota. For those little girls watching you, if you were to become Miss North Dakota, what kind of message do you hope to send out to those little girls?
I want them to not feel like because they're different that they're not as worthy or because of the things that they've been through in their life that they're not as capable of achieving those things. And by me occupying those roles as someone who has faced adversities in her life but was still able to find success, I would be a living, breathing example of that.
Absolutely. And so for all of us who want to support you during this time, coming into the June 2025, that big competition, how can we support you?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at Miss Mikinock 2025 and on Facebook, it's Miss Mikinock 2025.
And then when it comes to your book, how can we read it, purchase it, all the things?
Yes, it is available for purchase right now on Amazon.
Do you have a favorite part of the book?
I would say the end of the story where she helps all of the other friends in the forest find their unique strengths and helps them realize what makes them unique as well.
What was it like putting this book together?
It definitely was a process that took a lot of patience, but in the end, it was so worth it because this is a message that I really wanted to share with young children that they may not be able to grasp otherwise. And I thought a book was an amazing way for them to read this message.
Gabriella, that was so beautifully said. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
This has been Let's Talk, brought to you by Cece's Physical Therapy. For more information, you can find her on Facebook and Instagram. Information right there located on your screen.